Well, that was not fun. Texas led by double digits, and then they lost. Here are a few initial thoughts from Texas' latest collapse. Texas imploded. Again. Different week, same story. And coming off of a bye week, no less. The only logical explanation is that there's something fundamentally wrong with this team and/or the culture under Steve Sarkisian. When Texas took its 21-10 lead, you almost knew what was coming, another collapse, and then it did. Baylor scored 21 unanswered points, and did so pretty easily, and Texas' response was a late field goal, and after one of the defense's few good drives of the game, a 3-and-out with a chance to tie the game at stake. To be sure, Sarkisian largely did his job as a play caller with relatively little help from his players in execution. Joshua Moore's fumble and drops directly eliminated at least 10 potential points from the board. Thompson couldn't hit a wide-open Xavier Worthy for a first-half TD, and Markku. But, that fact remains that as soon as momentum swings and things aren't going well, Texas becomes a borderline incompetent team. In my mind, at least, that's a culture issue. Sark and his staff can't make the plays for their players, but something has to be adjusted so Texas doesn't become a shell of itself every time adversity strikes. Texas' defense is soft. There will be glimpses of Pete Kwiatkowski's defense making opportunistic plays, but all in all, it's usually a unit that's relatively easy to have your way with if you don't try to get too cute with your scheme and game plan. As a perfect example of the Park era thus far, Texas had 2 opportunistic interceptions from B.J. Foster and Luke Brockermeyer, along with a couple first-half stops, but per usual, they were a punching bag in the second half. After Texas grabbed its 21-10 lead, Baylor did whatever it wanted offensively, cruising to 3 straight touchdown drives. BU's running backs enjoyed wide running lanes against a front that was mostly outright bullied, and the secondary almost always gives receivers incredible cushions and is basically just reacting after easy catches, rather than making plays on the ball. In short, there's very little about this Texas defense that should strike fear in any offensive coordinator. 75-27. That's the scoring deficit Texas has suffered through in the second half of its 3 losses to OU, OSU, and BU.